Join UF Hall of Famer and 14-year NFL vet Shane Matthews every weekday as he brings you all you need to know about your Florida Gators, including news, analysis, and opinions with some of the biggest names in sports. Find us on Spotify, Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, or wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts, or watch us live at 8 a.m. on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter.
Good morning. It is Matthews in the Morning coming to you from the International Diamond Center Studios, locations across the state of Florida, right there in Celebration Point in the heart of Gator Nation. That is International Diamond Center Studios. Also, Comfort Temp Heating and Air is your number one local HVAC company. Comfort is our business. Peace of mind is our promise. If you want to shoot us a text on the Titan More text line, that number is 352-353-7465. Got a good show. We'll have Buddy Martin here in just a second. Then we'll have Edgar Thompson from the Orlando Sentinel. Get all their thoughts and scoop and all that good stuff. Let's go to the Titan More hotline courtesy of Comfort Tent. We're joined by the host of the Buddy Martin Show, the one and the only Buddy Martin. Good morning, buddy. How you doing?
Good morning, Shane. How are you? I'm good. I'm kind of relieved and ready to move forward now. As you said last night, no sense in looking back now. It's all done, and let's see what it brings. I feel really kind of compassionate for the kids. I've been through this a few times. Shane, as a matter of fact, what was it like for you in 1990 when you were there? All of a sudden, they changed coaches, and you knew a little bit about. No, you didn't even know about Spurrier. You liked his offense. You watched the bowl game. Describe what your feeling was like being on an island, committing yourself to Florida. You wanted to go home when they wouldn't let you. It's kind of an empty feeling, like, oh my gosh, what do I do now, right?
I guess, but I think when you're buried so far on the depth chart, you really didn't care. Buddy, that was how long ago? That was
1990.
It was 89, 90, so it's like 30 something years ago.
I know.
I can't remember that far back, but I do know this. I was begging my parents to let me transfer to Ole Miss.
Yeah, you told me that a couple of times. Gosh, just think what would have happened had you done that, right?
Yeah, I'd probably be coaching high school balls.
You keep lamenting the fact that you're not a coach right now with all these great buyouts.
It was my calling, and I screwed it up.
I think you had a pretty good hand dealt to you, pal, and you.
I'm not complaining about that, but I would have much. I just love the X's and O's, the scheming and all that.
Shane, it's never too late to reinvent yourself. I've reinvented myself about 5 times since I was your age, so you can still do it, you know?
Yeah, it's too late. It's too late because even when I was done playing at 36 years old, I talked to several coaches, friends of mine, and they were head coaches. And they're like, well, you're going to have to start out as a graduate assistant like everybody else. And I'm like, I ain't doing that. So anyway, we got a lot of discussions on here, questions, comments on YouTube, brought to you by Quality Plumbing, also on Facebook Live. We also got a text today. Basically, this is from Josh. He says, Josh and Wamama, gentlemen, if we can assume that Lane Kiffin will be the next coach, would you think that Tramel Jones would be better fit for Lane than in his offense than DJ? I don't know the answer to that. There's thoughts out there that Kiffin's going to bring Austin Simmons with him if he comes, who is a highly touted quarterback. So again, I don't know. Again, we don't know if Lane Kiffin's going to be the coach. I hope he's the coach. I got a feeling he will be the coach. But you don't know what a coaches like different things, right, buddy?
Yeah, they do. They have flavors, you know. So
yeah. I mean, I don't think he would be a good fit for Lane personally, just from the style of play. But I could be wrong. Maybe
you never know. You know, if you're back in the day when Dan Mullen was there, Tebow was his first choice as a quarterback.
Right.
They wanted to go get another guy who later went, I think, to Arkansas, I forget where. But anyway, consequently, against your style, right? If you were to be the head coach of the Gators tomorrow and you had a choice, you'd pick a quarterback and you pick the guy you thought best could express himself the way you want him to express himself and
Yeah.
can do the things that you want done in the offense. Now, I think he'd be a fool not to figure out he's a talented guy. I'm sure if he came, he would do everything he could because University of Florida likes to keep DJ. He's been a loyal guy, great player. If he gets beat out, he gets beat out. That's different. But
But you
if
got to
you're
also
all
remember here's another thing we have to take into consideration now, and this is involves every college, not just the Gators, right? If you when the new coach comes in, you can also say, okay, I like my guy better than this guy, and my
yeah.
guy's cheaper.
Well, there we go back to that cheaper and available theory we talked about
Well, I
last night
mean,
again. I know
money
what you're
talks in
saying.
today's world, right?
It does, Shane. You're right. You're correct. And it would be. I really like this kid, DJ Lagway.
He's a
I
good
like
player.
what all Gators should be thankful for him trying to hold things together. But I'll tell you what, I'm thankful for some other guys right now. I'm hearing and reading things that some of these kids are stepping up right now, saying, "Oh no, I'm here. I'm a Gator." I mean, the comments that we heard by people like Jake Slaughter. He likes the situation at the quarterback. He said he likes it. He likes Coach O'Hara. He thinks O'Hara had put some good time in and worked hard and is a smart guy. So, and he's doing all he can to, he doing all he can to hold it together. And I love the fact that they're being honest but loyal. And look, it's not easy to have your coach get run off. I've talked to players before about things like this, and it's really hard. But it will all even out. And one of the things that they're talking about now is the unbelievable talent they've got on that squad. They've got some really good players. We saw one yesterday on Saturday we never heard of. Number 43. The
Yeah, he
guy
played a
made
little bit
nine
last year.
million.
He's a walk-on. I think he may be on scholarship. He transferred from Baylor.
Yeah, what do you make? 15 tackles?
He flies around. You know what it shows you, buddy? That
Yeah.
you don't have to be a five-star. That
Yeah.
he got
Yeah.
his opportunity. So maybe hell, he should be playing over the other guys. And that's
I'm
what
not
I
so
look
sure
at
he
him.
shouldn't. Yeah, I grant you. I go back to Coach Spurrier's comments about the Clemson game he won that year when he had all kind of guys out and they were 1-3 or whatever, and these guys stepped up from nowhere and had career days against Clemson. They beat them, and Steve says flatly, "If we don't beat Clemson, I don't get the Florida job."
Hmm. That's very, very true. Uh, this is Kevin from Archer on the Titan War text line. He says, if Joey Freshwater comes, will he bring his basketball hoop? He might. He may start something different. Um, Rick in Jupiter, QB, do you speak with Lane at all or anyone around him? Do you have any sense if he's deciding between Ole Miss and Florida? I don't really know Lane that well. I know a lot of family members of Lane's and relatives and people that are close to him.
Well. I mean, you have something because you've insisted all along he was the guy, and you insisted even when guys like me said doesn't look like a guy that wants to move out of Oxford. That you said, well, he's never been offered the job. Like you indicated, you think if he did, he would.
Hmm.
He has admitted he's been intrigued by the Florida job. I mentioned last night to you, and this is just one ranking. They had a ranking of the top jobs in the SEC. And we always talk about Florida being one of the top five in the country. Florida was fifth in the SEC according to this fifth best job, but Ole Miss was number 12. And you pointed out, yeah, it's a whole
There's no
lot of difference.
comparison. I mean, I don't care what
Yeah,
anybody says.
yeah,
I know the two programs.
right. I know you do.
I love both schools. I love the Gators more, but there's no comparison in the athletic programs or the football program. People say, well, why would I saw, buddy, I know you've seen it on Twitter, these Tom Luganbills and these other people,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
yeah.
why would he leave? Because the Ole Miss job is better than the Florida job. No, it's not. You know why it's better than the Florida job right now? Because Lane Kiffin's the coach.
Well, if
The only
you
reason.
look, if you're into that kind of thing, like when I was the sports editor of the largest paper in America, the New York Daily News, I was hiring guys. I had my guy that I had hired when he was 19. He worked for me at three different places. He had worked for me at the St. Pete Times. I got to New York. I thought, I got to have this guy. He is a brilliant writer. He's 25 years old. He's going to be great. I tried my best to hire this young man. He would not leave Gainesville, about St. Pete. because he didn't want that. You know what he wanted? He wanted the beach lifestyle of the beach. He didn't want the New York City lifestyle. So a lot of that's what's going on in Oxford, I guess. I don't know. I've never lived there, but
It's a
hey,
great town. It is a great college town,
yeah,
but
yeah.
look, all that's great. We have great neighborhoods in Gainesville. They have great neighborhoods in Baton Rouge. They have great neighborhoods in Auburn. Big 6,000 square foot homes that these coaches live in. That none of that matters in my opinion. Zero. The way the great coaches think, buddy, you should know this. They have an ego. They want to be the best. They want to win it all. You can only go so far at Ole Miss. He's going to probably make the playoffs. He may not. But you could see from the game against Georgia. They beat Georgia last year because they played at home and Carson Beck played terrible. But maybe I'm in the minority, but nobody will ever change my mind that you're going to get the same type of players. You're going to have the same resources at Ole Miss that you do at a Florida, LSU, Auburn, or one of those places. You will not. You will not. Nobody
Well,
can
back
change
to the
my mind.
original premise of there's players out there, and
There
there's
are players,
guys
but
that,
they're
and
and I'm sorry to interrupt you, but you're making a great point. He's gotten players at Ole Miss. He's winning with the Division II quarterback. But what can he do if he doesn't have to coach his ass off and scheme and have to call the perfect play every time,
hmm
right?
hmm
When the better athlete or the better player can help relieve him some of that. Nobody will ever change my mind on this. Rick in Jupiter says, no, I've already read that one. Um,
Shane, let me ask you a question. Had you ever heard of Javari Flowers before?
yeah, he was a highly touted
Okay,
kid.
I didn't.
He hasn't
But
played much, but he's a good player.
he shows up. He was the highest rated freshman in the country last Saturday. Pro Football Focus says he was the highest rated. I barely heard of the guy.
Well, he
So
hasn't
I,
played.
I know that's my point. You get your chance like you finally got your chance.
Yeah,
It
I
can
mean, maybe
change.
some. I haven't thought our safeties have been very good, and I thought our safeties were much better in this game.
Isn't that
Uh,
funny? They were all freshmen. They miss, they're missing four defensive backs, and a 349-pound lineman has to make the defensive play of the day and one of the tops of the season with an interception with his own defense.
yeah.
Unbelievable.
Real quick, I wanted to read. Clayton says on Facebook Live, brought to you by Mel Law. What was the UGA job, Georgia job, ranked before Kirby got there? Coaches matter. Look, I said this on a show the other day. Was the Florida job better than the Georgia job when Steve Spurrier was here? Absolutely, it was because they were kicking their ass, and you had the better coach.
Oh,
It's a
yeah. I thought you said before Steve Spurrier. Okay. No,
no.
yeah.
Before Coach Spurrier got here, the Georgia job was better than the Florida
Yeah,
job.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
all
No.
about the right coach, and
Yeah.
then him winning with the right players.
Was not ranked number one job according to the Athletic. Number
The Georgia
one.
Bulldog job is not the number one job in the
Well, I'm
conference.
telling you what they did. Texas is two, and you got let's see, Alabama's three, LSU's four. Speaking of trouble, he's in trouble. Shane, he may get fired.
I think he will get fired. I think
Yeah,
there'll be an
amazing.
opening. There's already an opening at Florida. There's an opening at Arkansas. I think LSU will be open. I think Auburn will be open, and I think Kentucky's going to be open.
Yeah, it's gonna be
5
crazy. Yeah,
schools. All right,
uh,
buddy. A question for
yeah,
you from Andy on Facebook Live, brought to you by
yeah.
Law. Why do we need to pay a search firm to help? What value do they provide?
I think it's the CYA. You want to make sure that you've covered all your bases for the brass. They know who they want, but they want a consensus, and that's like, I don't know. I could question, like you said, you'd like to be on the search firm. I don't know why. It's what everybody does. Actually, they do it in the process early on. And one of the things search firm does then is to contact, they can then contact the agency. Is he movable? What's he going to take? And they can get a lot of the homework before they get there, not to waste their time. People say, well, it's down to 5 and 5. But look, you know what? There's only probably two guys there right now that we want to hire, right? Would you say that?
Say that one more time.
No, there's only two guys I think right now that would pass muster with the Gator Nation until they hire. And one
Who's
of them
the
is in
other guy?
Oxford. Well, Oxford is one, and number two would be someone off the wall. One of these high-paid guys. I don't even know the names, but on your list, who do you have?
I have one guy only. You do
I
whatever you
know.
got to do to
Yeah, you're an
get
all
the
guy.
job.
You're one. Maybe that's the answer.
And quite honestly, and this is not because he's one of my closest friends, if you cannot get Lane, I would hire Kerwin. He's won everywhere he's been.
And yet they know they would not. And yet they would not.
I know that, but
Amazing.
that's their mistake because
I
if they're
understand.
hiring a damn firm, have the firm research him.
Hey, look up Signetti. Look at him.
Well, he's there's kind of the same
Yeah,
kind of deal
yeah.
that Kerwin has been on,
Except
but
Signetti's a lot older.
yeah.
Yeah,
Joseph wants to know what's my thoughts on Ryan O'Hara being the play caller going forward.
yeah.
I'm very confused about that because of the press conference yesterday. Um, I don't know if Ryan O'Hara did Billy say he's actually calling the plays, buddy?
Calling the plays.
Okay, so he called plays at
Not
Alabama
Billy. Not
A&M.
Billy. No, Billy didn't say that. No.
Billy Gonzalez.
Oh,
He's the
well,
head coach
I
now.
think yes. I think so. That's right. Yeah.
Okay.
Um,
I don't know what to make of it. I do know he's the quarterback coach, so he's around DJ the most. He
yeah.
and Billy were. Um, I thought he was just going to take Billy's headset, put it on, and talk to the quarterback, and somebody
Yeah.
else was calling the plays. Like most teams have the OC
Yeah.
tell the whoever's got the green dot headset on talking
Yeah.
to the quarterback.
And
I
that's
don't
what he
really know.
said. The green dot is the key. And
Well,
here
it's not
again,
really
just
the
to me,
key.
well, someone
The key
said
is
that.
who calls the
Someone
play.
said but someone said that. I forget who said it yesterday. Green dot. Here's the exact quote from Jake Slaughter, who I have a great admiration for. I'm excited for Coach O'Hara. He's one of those guys that he works his tail off. He loves quarterbacks. He works with quarterbacks. He works for the entire offense. He's a great leader. He's got a good sense of humor. It's a great human element. That's pretty good testimony for your best player, probably, to say that. So now somebody else made the comment, and I've said it to Shane, when you talk about Rob Sales being the offensive coordinator, which he never was, the offensive coordinator is going to be able to look the quarterback in the eye. That's something Billy Gonzalez said about being on the sideline. But look at the quarterback. If the offensive coordinator, the quarterback's got to be involved in it. So I kind of like this idea, the concept, and the quote. He's going to spread it out, whatever that means. We talked about it on the show last night. We're not really sure, but if we don't think it's going to be four wides, as you say, nobody runs it anymore. Um, anyway, and I want to shout out to guys like Miles Graham, who's trying his best to keep the roster motivated. Nothing motivates like winning, right? You pull off a win against Georgia, they say you got a whole different atmosphere there. But again, the highest graded true freshman cornerback from week 8, Javari Flowers. All right, and a shout out to Alfonso Allen Jr., who was remarkable in what he did. I mean, where's he been? Where's he been? What a player!
Because he's a walk on.
I don't care if he's a run on. The fact is that he showed up and showed out, and he was one of the most impressive defensive backs I've seen all year long.
Yeah. Uh, Mike here asks me again, what do I think about Strickland using a firm to find a coach? I don't know. I don't know enough about all that.
It
I
doesn't
do know,
matter. It doesn't matter. It's just what you do. It's really one of those things. Well, let's cross our T's and dot our I's,
I
so that when
guess.
the
Yeah.
time comes, we know what we're doing. So let's hire these guys. This is what they do. And by the way,
All you got to do
everybody,
is watch football. That tells you all you need to know.
well, that's not true, Shane. You got to know a
That
little
is
more.
true, buddy.
You
All I
need to
care
know,
about is what the product on the
Shane.
field
You
is.
got to know more about what the guy is about and what his movability is and whether he's motivated. You got to know all you can know about the
You
guy
can
when you
find that out by
negotiate.
watching the games and
You don't
following
find that out
football.
by watching the game. You
I
don't know how
disagree.
movable.
I disagree.
You don't know if the guy's movable or not. Okay.
Everybody's movable, buddy.
Well,
Everybody.
how about Kyle Shanahan? Is he movable?
Why would he leave the National
I
Football
don't
League?
know, but we mentioned it last night. You lit up,
Yeah, I love
and
Kyle Shanahan, but why in the hell would
I don't
anybody leave the
know.
National Football
I
League?
don't. Why would Bill Belichick go to North Carolina? I don't
Because he
know.
got fired. He was fired. That's a different story. But I can promise you that there's only like when you say nobody's movable, Kirby Smart ain't movable. Dan Lanning ain't movable. Dabo Swinney ain't movable. And freaking Ryan Day ain't movable. Everybody else in
Nobody
America
wants
will
Dabo
move.
Swinney anymore. He said, he went on yesterday, talked about how he can win another national championship. What's he smoking? You don't win another national championship there, Clemson. It's all
He might.
cheese.
You never know.
No, he's not
This
going
year he
to.
won't.
He won't the rest of his coaching career. Shane, he does, I'll buy you dinner at Spurs the rest of your life.
All right, Kevin on the Titan MR text line. This is the way I understand it. He says, my understanding is Callaway calls the plays, but O'Hara has the mic to talk to DJ. That's how I understand it. Maybe
No, I
here's the
don't
thing.
think so.
Here's the
I don't
thing.
think Callaway calls the plays. I
I
don't
don't
think
think
he.
they explained it very well, but
No,
here's what I would say. What does it matter? Just who doesn't matter
no.
who's calling it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. It's the result that matters.
This says, good morning, Shane. I know I shouldn't be drinking it, but golly, if this is Kool-Aid, ain't good stuff. 8-4, baby. We ain't going 8-4. You think we can go 8-4, buddy?
No, but I think you can go 6-6.
All right, this is a text from Chris in Cottondale. He says, what does Buddy expect the players like Jake Slaughter to say? O'Hara can't do it. He doesn't have any
No, no,
experience
no.
calling
Come on,
plays.
man.
His
Give me
first
more
game in
credit.
Georgia is
I'm
probably
not
going to be a
some
tough one.
sophomore in college. I've been down there sort of 1,000 times. I know authenticity when I hear it, and I know Jake Slaughter. And so I mean, I'm impressed. I was really impressed with his perception of the guy. I want to know, what do you know about him? Who knows about this guy? He's been a quarterback coach. I bet you Bubba Spurrier could tell us about him. What his choices
Bubba's
were.
only been here a couple of months.
Yeah, but he's worked with the guy directly, hands-on, in coaching quarterbacks, so he would know. Guarantee you, you would know, Shane. You'd know in a week if you were there. So anyway,
Well, I mean, I know Ryan O'Hara. I don't know if he can call plays, though. We'll find out. Rose Ogre State Farm Office is a team of dedicated insurance professionals ready to help life go right with the right insurance options for you and your family. Visitogreinsurance.com. Give them a call at 352-240-1779. We got Buddy here. We'll have Edgar Thompson soon. Buddy, tell these people what the odds are in Vegas on who next Gator coaches.
Okay, I just took that off. I had it in my screen for a half hour, and then I'm going, all right, there's several ones. I'm not going to go to bookie.com, who has a whole nother deal going on. As Golish is number one. Please. He may have to be on the list, but he's never. Here's what the odds I got last night. Kiffin was number one at plus 200. Jeff Brum, which was interesting because he wasn't on there a couple of days ago, is second at plus 300. Franklin, for some reason, James Franklin, it causes a lot of controversy. A lot of people don't want him. They talk about so-called scandals at Vanderbilt. I don't know. But I can tell you one thing. Fans are some of the least informed people I know. They think they know something. They're dangerous. I know I've been through this with other coaches where they claim this and claim that. Totally wrong. I knew they better. So I don't trust fans. They say they know a story of scandal. Drake, please, will y'all hire him?
I would
Carson
take
could
it in a
hire,
heartbeat.
hire Sarkeesian and get him out of Texas.
They're idiots to think that. Blind Squirrel Sports says on YouTube, brought to you by Quality Plumbing. I don't follow high school football, but I did hear Kiffin speak about sharing a video of his son leading his team on a game-winning drive. Yeah. So
Yeah.
Knox is a backup quarterback, but I think the starter got hurt. They came in and had a game-winning drive at the end. I saw the highlights of it as too,
Hmm.
um, but again, none of that matters because it's the coaches move all the time. All right, this says right here, Rick from Jupiter, but buddy, you may know more about this than I do. He says, do you know what Tim Brando's issue with the Gators? Seems like he
I
has a
don't.
grudge.
He's got a corn cup up, you know where. I don't know his situation. I think he's the LSU guy, and he's just dumping all over Florida. I don't know. I know Tim Brando barely, but yeah, I've been reading his stuff. He's on a mission somehow to discredit Florida. I don't understand why. What businesses is it? Go back to LSU. You got your own problems there, man. Quit worrying about the Gators.
All right, buddy, who you got on your program tonight?
Well, it's Lauren Meadows tonight and Rob Brown. They'll be on tonight. They'll be bringing you good stuff. I don't know who all they got as their guest list, but it'll be a good show as usual tonight. And then later in the week, we'll have some other great guests. Can't wait to hear what my girl Allie has to say. she's become quite popular on my show, Allie Pete Wilbur, of course,
Good.
and we have her every Wednesday night, and we'll have Kevin Brockway tomorrow night, etc. So I've got to go write something, Shane. What should I write
So,
today?
buddy, right here, I'm going to ask you every day
Yeah,
when you're on my program. This is,
yeah.
what is it, October 21st?
Okay.
Who will be the next Gator coach?
I'm going to go with your boy. I'm going to go with Kiffin until I hear
That would
otherwise.
be very smart.
Yeah, that's, I mean, but things happen. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Kiffin right now. I don't think it's a strong number two. There's a couple of possibilities, but Shane, what do we know? What did you know about Signetti 2 years ago? You know how much the guy's buyout is, Shane, in Indiana?
Guy's like 90 something million. He's a good
93
coach. Good for
million.
him. He decided to leave being an assistant for Nick Saban to make like 100 and something $1,000
Mm-hmm.
at IUPUI or whatever the hell that school is called.
Mm-hmm.
Did really well there. Went to James Madison.
Mm-hmm.
He can coach. There's no question about it.
There's
So
only one thing about Kiffin that bothers me.
what?
I don't want any more Saban assistants. I've had enough of those.
Well, I will say this. He and Sarkisian are the best assistants Nick's ever had, and Kirby. Those three.
Kirby,
Kirby,
I'll give you. I talked to my man Lauren Smith yesterday, who's been in Georgia forever, and he of course marvels at Kirby, and he said, man, he is all business. He's forgetting about his family or Georgia football. He doesn't care about it, and he loves Kirby. He's worked with him for years. And shout out to Kirby for the great job he's done at Georgia. And by the way, don't count them out. They've had a couple of blips on the screen. Their defense is not quite what it used to be because of, loss of great players. But their quarterback's playing pretty good right now, Shane, for a guy who wasn't supposed to be any good.
okay, last thing here. I don't know who this is. They want me to ask you, buddy, in all your years of experience, if you have ever heard as much fan push for a coach as now with Kiffin.
Well, we didn't have social media, and I'd say probably not. I can't think of anybody back in the day. We didn't. Well, Spurrier kind of came on us all at once after that one season. He would be the only one I could think of. And I'll tell you what, if it hadn't been for his friend Gene Peak, had the boosters at that time, he might not have got it either. Because even back when Arsberg was trying his best not to hire Spurrier, everything he could possibly do, Peak was in there hammering him. And when they sent the plane up to Raleigh Durham, guess it was the president of the University of Florida.
Um, yeah, I think the Gator fans they see what he's done at Ole Miss, which is remarkable. They love his demeanor. They love his offense. They love how he deals with quarterbacks. We've been through it.
He
We've done this
struggled a
before.
bit
We want
last
to do it
week.
again.
He struggled these last 2 weeks, especially in the red zone. Like you said, he's.
Buddy, everybody
I'm
struggles.
just
Georgia's
saying
been
what it is,
struggling.
Shane. You
I
got
know
to
that.
own it. You got to own it. Okay, I'm
You
not
do own
saying.
it, but again, can I ask you this question? In all the years that you've covered, regardless, Urban, Spurrier, freaking Dan Reeves, whoever the coach of the Broncos were,
Dan Reeves
did they
was the
play
coach.
a perfect game every
Shane, I'm not
single
asking
week?
for that. Nobody's asking for a
Okay,
perfect game.
that's where
But
I'm going with
you
this.
can't. Your eyes can't lie when you see something, and
But
he openly admits it.
right.
They
And how
didn't
many
have a.
times did Coach Spurrier struggle against Vanderbilt? Multiple times.
Yeah.
Okay, but nobody cares. All you gotta do is win the game. Win the game.
Bro,
That's all.
Shane, don't get so sensitive.
I'm not sensitive. I'm sensitive
Yeah,
because it's not realistic for your team to play
but
outstanding.
it's a fact that he didn't. His red zone was not good. He
Right.
admitted it. Okay,
He
that's all
admitted
I'm
it.
saying.
So
I'm just saying. I'm
win
not
one
just
game.
saying. I didn't say you had to be perfect. I don't think anybody they hire is perfect. I want Shane. I want Shane. I want him to be the coach. But not everybody pitches a shutout every game, as you point out. And yes, let's see. Let's hope he brings some of that magic. Can I just say one thing? Of all the things that happened this past couple of weeks, the interception at the end of the game, unbelievable. There's still something magical about the swamp and the fans. There is something there. And that's something, and whatever coach comes in, not only does he get a great fan base, does he get some terrific players, he's got the swamp, which has got magic, which Shane, you helped create.
Yeah, it's a good venue, no doubt about that. Alpha Gator says the next Signetti is coaching in North Texas and almost half his age. He's a damn good coach. He will have some big jobs coming up. Buddy, good stuff as always. We'll talk to you next week, my man.
All right, Shane. Thank you, man.
That's Buddy Martin. Join us on the Titan More Highline, courtesy of Comfort Temp. When Urban Meyer wanted to introduce his high-quality tequila to the Gator Nation, he made sure to get it to the HBC and his team at Spurrier's Gridiron Grill and Dorn's Liquors. Go beyond with smooth Los Landeros tequila. Quick timeout. Come back. We'll have Edgar Thompson from the Orlando Sentinel. You're watching and listening to PodUp with Matthews in the morning from the International Diamond Center Studios. We'll be right back.
Our premium sponsors are Atlantic Roofing, Campus USA Credit Union, International Diamond Center, JF Hayden's Craft Liqueurs, Los Landeros Tequila, Meldon Law, Titan MRI and Imaging, UF Health Orthopedics. Our gridiron sponsors are Baker's Sports, Comfort Temp, Electronics World, Florida Cracker Kitchen, Florida Victorious, Gallo Car Wash, Miapa Latin Cafe, Peachland Dental, Quality Plumbing, Rue's Ogre State Farm, Silverback Concrete, 84 Lumber, Big Mills Cheesesteaks, Celebrate Primary Care, Gator Bait Media, Gator Dominoes, Ironwood Golf Course, McDonald's of Gainesville, Tropical Smoothie Cafe, UF Bookstores, Advocare, and MG&A Wealth. Watch and listen to us live on Facebook and YouTube. Listen to the podcast whenever on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. Remember to like, follow, and subscribe so you don't miss any episodes. And if you want to advertise, give my man Freddie a call at 352-284-3733.
The jewelry store with the most likes, the most positive reviews, the most raving fans is International Diamond Center.
IDC is definitely a place that I will come to as long as I live here. This will be my go-to place always.
Literally the best jewelry store in town. You'll make friends for life coming in here. I felt like family from the beginning. The value was extraordinary.
I've got a beautiful diamond on my finger and I'm very proud of it.
International Diamond Center.
I'm very happy to show it off.
At Celebration Point and online at shopidc.com.
Hi there, this is Coach Steve Spurrier, and I want to let you know that by popular demand, Spurrier's Gridiron Grill's delicious brunch is now served in a premium buffet. You have spoken, we have listened, and we're now serving Gainesville's only elevated buffet complete with an omelet station, ginger sage chicken sausage, shredded short rib, and of course our chicken and waffles. Plus, you can enjoy bottomless mimosas and Bloody Marys. So join us every Saturday and Sunday from 11 to 3 for the best brunch in town.
Welcome back to the International Diamond Center Studios. Florida Crackers, a brand for original Floridians. Great food and Southern hospitality in the center of the universe, Brooksville, Florida. FloridaCracker.com. Back to the Titan More Highline, courtesy of Comfort Temp. Our man Edgar Thompson from the Orlando Sentinel. Good morning, Edgar. Getting any sleep, my friend?
Oh yeah. I slept like a baby.
You already had all your articles written for a while, right?
Yeah, it says I'm Buddy Martin, but we'll go with it.
You're Buddy Martin?
It says Buddy Martin up here at the top.
It does? I don't see that. So
I'll start having to talk like this.
that's right.
But yeah, no, I'm good, man. I mean, look, I was ready. I think Billy was ready, right? Everyone was ready.
Yeah.
For this to kind of come to its logical and sad, obviously, conclusion. Players upset, and there you go, Edgar Thompson. Thank you, man. What's your producer's name? Good dude.
Zach.
Thanks, Zach.
Hey, Edgar, I want to ask you this because, there's a lot of talk about this when Scott Strickland talked about the search committee.
Mm-hmm. I'm getting my coffee. Sorry.
That's fine. What can you tell our listeners? Because they're asking about the search committee. And then also Go Gators on YouTube, brought to you by Quality Plumbing, says Spurrier said he would help in the process of hiring the next head coach if he was asked. Which
I love
think
Spurrier,
they're
man.
complete.
He just
I
always
think it's
does something.
complete nonsense that they do not ask him about any kind of like structure or who he likes. I mean, I just don't understand that. Coaches know coaching. These search firms don't know coaching for the most part. They're worried about all the other stuff, like how organized is he? Does he, you know what I mean? Am I wrong?
I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. To tell you the truth, I guess I should, but I don't know much about these search firms. There's a guy, I don't know that I'm even out in the guy, Chad Chatlos. I was told about this days ago. This gentleman at ZRG Partners, okay, turnkey. Someone told me about this. He is a graduate of the Naval Academy. He's probably about 55, but graduated in 92, so he's in our age range and supposed to be a pretty impressive guy. And I don't know if I'm even supposed to be putting this out there, but that's that's who is at this turnkey deal. It's based in Atlanta. So, I mean, I'm glad Scott's getting some help and not just going out and identifying a guy on his own, and which is what he did with Billy Napier. And we see how that didn't turn out, because my whole thing with Billy was that, in hindsight, right? Hindsight 2020, obviously, is that he was kind of like Mark Long likes to talk about the pendulum theory a lot. He swung it all the way to the other side from Dan Mullen. Hyper organized, dogged with recruiting, these kinds of things that Dan was criticized for not being. But unfortunately, he didn't have the part that Dan does have, which is the game day acumen, as he proved time and again, or the play calling, maybe potential genius with Dan. I know someone who said a couple of years ago, revered defensive mind, Dan Mullen, this was 2021, the best play caller and offensive mind in the SEC, and it ain't even close. Okay. And Lane Kiffin was coaching and had the number one offense then. So he went the opposite from Dan and ended up with what he got. So involving another voice, another company like this to help vet guys and do all this stuff, I don't have a big issue with. But to your point, yeah, I mean, you got Steve Spurrier with an office still, I think, over there, right? Why wouldn't you
I mean,
kind
my
of
whole
see
thing
what
is,
he's thinking?
as much as I'm around coaching, and I've never been in a coaching interview, but I can see what he's referring to. He's told me multiple times about certain coaches. He's like, when they go in for their interview, they got their freaking binders that can tell you what's going to happen on August 24th, 2027 at 3 o'clock, what the team's doing and how
That was
organized they're
Billy.
doing this and doing that. And then you got the guys that come in there that aren't real organized, that just know how to coach ball, right? I think when it comes down to it, I just needed somebody that can coach football. I don't care about all the, the culture is important. I don't think I ever heard the word culture when I played football, because if you recruit the right kind of guys and you have the good enough leadership, things are just going to fall in place for culture. But anyway, I don't know where I'm going with this. I just know that I can't tell you how many coaches that I played for that learned to be football coaches by going to clinics at a young age, and they coach. They don't coach just naturally, if that makes any sense. And there's only a handful of those kind of guys. Coach Spurrier's that kind of guy. I think Lane Kiffin's that kind of guy. I think Jeff Brom's that kind of guy. But anyway, I'm going off on a different tangent.
No,
So
you're fine, and it applies to probably all businesses, doesn't it?
yeah, but I mean, I understand you got to do the background checks and all that kind of stuff.
Well,
I don't care
but
about
let's
that.
talk about the coaching aspect. It's just like anything. It's like my job. I'll tell you, David Whitley, he ever come on here?
He used to, yeah.
Dude, the guy's a genius writer. I mean, he can write something in like 20 minutes and it just sings and it's
So he's just what you're
funny.
saying, he's natural.
Yes. My
Yeah.
father is an investor at age 86 still. He's a stock picker.
So
He's just
so you
got
have
a gut. He's got a gut for it,
so
man.
that's what I'm the natural ability, the God-given ability, you can tell when those guys have it. It's just like a
And
player.
Lane Kiffin seems to have it. He's had the
Yes.
look, let's just get into the numbers for a sec. You probably have been talking about this.
Yeah, I mean,
I didn't realize
people
it.
joking around that I have the Lane Kiffin show going on right now, but I don't give a
Okay.
damn. I think
All
he's the
right.
best
Well,
person for the Florida Gators.
So Billy Napier's offense is currently ranked 13th. I mean, I'm a stats guy. It's because, I mean, I don't understand the ins and outs of the game like you, even close. But I can look at stats, and stats can be telling, and people say they're for losers, but whatever. I think that there's some, you can apply them to things. Billy's offense is 13th currently and 12th last year. Okay. I don't know what Ole Miss is right now, but they've been in the top 3 every year under Lane. They were number 1 offense 3 times so far under Lane Kiffin. Okay. It hasn't translated to a championship, but it's translated to a lot of wins. And you got to think at Florida with the footprint, recruiting footprint, the access to Tampa, Orlando, Jacksonville, much easier. I'm not saying you can't get a lot of good places from Oxford, but you are going to be right here where kids want to be. You're at a stadium with, even after the renovations, going to have 20,000 more seats in Vaught Hemingway. You're going to have tradition to build on. You're just the fan base. I got to think the donor base and stuff's more significant here. I'm not saying the Grove Collective hasn't been fantastic and they hit the ground running and there's not money at Ole Miss and you can't pay Lane his salary, but I just got to think that everything here is got to be just a level above. So he could probably win a championship here. And they have won championships here in the modern era. Ole Miss won a championship, I think, in 1960 or something with Johnny Vaught. This isn't 1960. This is even when you were playing, though, to the point of like culture, this, that, and the other. Maybe you need some of that a little bit more now. Maybe you don't. I don't know. Dan Wetzel has this theory, Shane. I'll end on this. And Dan is an astute thinker and is really good on the podcasts that he does with Reese Davis and Pete Thamel. He said a week ago, you are coaching teams now more than programs, because building programs is not passe, but it's not as prevalent as getting a team, putting together a team, and winning with that team instantly because of the portal and because all the moving parts now in college football. It's just not the same as like steadily building the program, which Billy was doing and doing well in certain respects, but the results weren't there. And Kiffin's shown that he can put a team together, right? The portal he's excellent in, and people want to play for the guy. I don't think if he comes here that you're going to get a whole lot of attrition.
You're going to get a lot of addition as well.
Yeah, good point.
Ton.
Nice line.
So, Edgar, let me ask you this. There's a lot of confusion at the press conference yesterday by Billy Gonzalez. Can you clear this up? Because I'm not, I need to know too.
Sure.
About the play calling.
There's no confusion, I'll tell you.
Okay, tell us.
I grabbed him off to the side because
Okay.
someone had hit me on Twitter, which I'm not always looking at, and I'm glad I was. And he respectfully was like, I didn't hear it that way. So I said, hey, Billy, to be clear, Russ Callaway will not be calling the plays and sending them to O'Hare, or is that how it's going? Or is Ryan calling the plays? And he goes, no, Ryan O'Hare is calling the plays.
Okay, so Ryan O'Hare will call the plays
Yes.
and speak to DJ in the headset.
And you know what was interesting? Did you listen to Billy?
I was doing radio and
Okay, that's
we
fine.
heard some of it.
He was good, and he's very kinetic. Is that the word? Frenetic, not kinetic. He's like really like he make, when I get going, you've heard me on the phone before where I start getting a little too much coffee going and start going. He makes me look like just even keel, but he was good yesterday. And he talked, and it was this, he made a point about the green dot, how much different it is now to communicate with guys.
Yeah.
And easier. And he wants the quarterback, the guy who knows the quarterback best, who has a rhythm with him and a relationship with him, to be dealing with him. But hold on. But he brought the green dot up. And it made me wonder, were they really applying the use of the green dot in the way Billy thinks they should have, Billy Gonzalez, that is, and effectively doing it? Because my sense is I don't think he felt like the offensive structure was the way it should be. He's certainly changing it.
Well, I will tell you this from my experience when I coached in the XFL and they made me the play caller mid-season.
Okay.
Our quarterback had a green dot,
Mhm.
and the players on the team used to joke around with me. They're like, Coach, it's like you're playing a video game up there. I'm like, yes, because I could see and I would tell the quarterback before it cut off, throw the curl route on the left side. I would tell him where to throw it because you could see and you could communicate. And like I said, I don't know what we've done in the past, but for example, we had a crucial play against Mississippi State. We went to empty. They had a cover zero, all out 6-man blitz. We only have, and
This was
DJ
the
ran the
keeper.
ball.
This is where he kept it.
Yes. I'm hoping Coach Napier said, okay, if you get cover zero, they got more than if they have 6 guys at the line of scrimmage, we have to throw the ball. We have 5 blockers. I mean, you should know this from your film study, but he just caught the ball and took off running. That was a mistake by the quarterback, but was he told what to do? I don't know the answer to that.
What's your level of confidence that he did tell him that?
Well, as much as they meet, he should know that, I should say.
Okay, so I was having a conversation with someone in the press box. I think I told you this. I'm not going to name the person. He's coached some elite quarterbacks, brilliant quarterbacks, one of the most brilliant quarterbacks that ever put on the uniform. And he just made a comment that some of this, because he likes Billy, but everyone likes Billy. Does anyone not like Billy? I mean, fans hate Billy, whatever. But I'm saying as a person, right? You deal with him, you like him, gentleman, all that stuff. But he said, look, DJ Lagway needs to make some decisions too. There are things the quarterback has to see and decide and adjust to.
Agree.
This person said. So he was implying, not throwing the kid under the bus, and we weren't talking like for me to write a story and probably even to come on PodUp in the morning and talk about it, but he was saying that maybe DJ is not making decisions and adjustments and audibles or whatever at the line. I know that's been something you've questioned, and Ryan O'Hara is going to help him maybe manage the game better, see the game better, think the game better, because he's going to be in his ear talking to him. And this is how Billy Gonzalez is going to do it. I have some optimism that this team's going to play a lot better offensively.
I hope so. A couple things here before we get out of here. Time goes by fast. John on YouTube, brought to you by Quality Plumbing. Can you explain the green dot? So the green dot started last year, I believe. Basically, the quarterback has a green dot. Usually your middle linebacker on defense has it, but Miles Graham has it for us.
Yep.
So that means in the past, you used to have to signal the plays in. They still signal plays into the other skill guys, but they can talk straight to the person with the green dot, which is your quarterback. It cuts off at 15 seconds on the play clock. And then the defensive coach or whoever talks to Miles Graham and tells him the defense. That's what the green dot is. NFL's been doing it for years. Finally, college football went to it. Brian has a question, Edgar, on Facebook Live, brought to you by Mel Law. What is your sense about Lane as a recruiter? It seems like he's a fantastic play caller, but can he bring top-level classes that will translate to championships? You can't win a championship without future NFL players on your college team. Can Kiffin bring those players in?
I think at Florida, he definitely can.
So yesterday, I may not have this exactly correct, but somebody asked Steve Russell this when we were doing radio. I think right now on 24/7 Sports, the top rankings of your class or whatever, Florida was like 14. I think Ole Miss was like 17 or 18.
Look, you are in the sweet spot
for recruiting.
The recruit.
Yeah.
I mean, Jacksonville is stacked. I give Billy credit. They kind of had lost a foothold over there a little bit. He's done well in Jacksonville. Tampa, he's done really well in Tampa, I think, right? I mean, Dallas Wilson, I mean, the list goes on, but I mean, that's enough. I mean, if that's the only guy you got at Tampa, stud. Orlando, he's done really well in Orlando. Look, Miles Graham came to Gainesville. He's done well within this little, this radius that's ultra important. Lane Kiffin, I mean, he fits the South Florida vibe. I think he's going to be able to get kids down there. You get Georgia and you get Florida going, and kind of put a fence around that, as Jim McElwain, I think, used to say, you're doing damn well in recruiting.
Yeah.
And I think he can. I just don't see how he can't
And
recruit to Florida.
it would be simple, because kids want to play in that for him. Fred says on this Titanmore text line, Cignetti is also from the Saban tree and more successful than Sarkisian. Indiana has the most alumni of any school and top 3 in NIL. He's not more successful than Sarkisian, in my opinion. His record may say that, but he's only been a head coach at Indiana for 2 years. Sark's been to the Final Four the last 2 years. So I would lean Sark.
That was a hell of a contract. They give him like 90 million guaranteed. I mean, based on a year and a half. I'm not saying it's not going to keep working out, but damn.
Very
crazy
true.
money.
Yep.
Speaking of which, what do you think they're going to have to pay Lane? Dude, someone was floating 15 to me. I think that's
fine.
crazy.
That's fine. I don't think it matters. I really don't.
Fine paying him 15 million, my lord.
Why not? I mean, if you want the best guy for the job, get it done.
I mean, Scott, I asked him about the financial ramifications. Did you listen to Scott at least? Did you listen?
A little bit. I mean, we were busy doing stuff.
Well, that's fine. So at the end, I said to him, what's the challenge financially to manage all this? I mean, you realize they have paid 57 million. Now, we're not even including assistants and whatever, because people signed new contracts. Now, I don't know what the length of them is, and this is something I'm going to dig into here during the next day. But 57 million to Boom, Mullen, McElwain, and now Billy in buyout money. So you better get this one right, because you're just flushing that. That's money you're just flushing.
Yeah, I say this is the most important hire in football in the school's history.
Well, they're about to do a 1 billion renovation. I hear 1.4 of the Swamp. So you need to excite the fan base, and you need to excite the donor base, because you got to get the money from the donors, and the ticket prices are going up.
So, Edgar, time went by fast. Before I get you out of here,
it's amazing how fast it goes here.
It does. I'm going to ask you, like I asked Buddy, on October 21st, who is Edgar's pick to be the next football coach of the Mighty Gators?
It's going to be, I mean, it's the Lane train is coming to Gainesville, man. They have to get Lane Kiffin. I told you this the other day. I joked, but I'm like, you aren't serious people if you're not getting Lane Kiffin. I was joking with some of the PR people. And Lane Kiffin might not want to come here. And if he decides not to come here, then okay. He has to be your number one target. I think he is the number one target.
Yeah, that's what I said. We have a serious problem that we are not serious about being relevant again if you do not offer him the job. Look, then the ball's in his court.
Marcus Freeman would be an excellent hire. Jeff Brom, you mentioned. I didn't put him on my list, and I was encouraged to by a friend of mine, and I feel stupid not, because it sounds like there may be some traction behind the scenes with him. Jed Fish. I mean, okay, but
no, Kerwin's a better option than that.
James Franklin. I mean, do you really want to recycle him? I think it'd be kind of, I don't know that would work. Eli Drinkwitz doesn't excite me a whole lot, though he's done a really good job at Missouri. But he did have a slow start there at Missouri. You need to hit the ground running with this next hire. And Lane Kiffin could come in here and have that offense going. I'll say one last thing. They showed something to him on game day. Mark Long was telling me about that I missed, how he coaches quarterbacks and runs motion, makes the reads really simple. Simplify things for DJ Lagway, and I think you could have a really good quarterback here.
Very true. Edgar, good stuff. Appreciate your time.
Thanks, Shane.
That's Edgar Thompson. Join us on the Titan & More Hotline, courtesy of Comfort 10. The Pouncey Twins provide all of Gator Nation with the highest quality liqueurs made by J.F. Hayden Craft Liqueurs. Find your favorite flavors at Spurrier's Gridiron Grill. Appreciate Edgar and Buddy Martin. Have a great day, folks. See you tomorrow. Take care.